about to, text you back,
Uh-huh.
and it started ringing. So it was ringing in my hand, it was ringing on the Mac, it was ringing on the PC all at the same time.
You can't get away. Oh, yeah,
You
I know what you're
cannot.
talking about. Teams does that to me. Rings on the laptop, rings on the phone, rings on the iPad.
Teams.
What's creepy about it is like I'll hang up on my computer and I'll also hear the hang up sound on my iPad. And I'm
Huh.
like, wait, what? Were you listening to me there too?
So, Teams and hanging up.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a story that I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
You should probably know when you're hung up.
You probably should. Did I do something?
No, 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 no. This isn't you. Actually, this is a story. So I wanted to tell you a couple of stories today of shall we call them foot and mouth disease?
This is what I need right now because man, it has been a roller coaster of a week. So yes, please, Uncle Cormac, tell me a story.
So the first one, yesterday was on a phone call. I'll leave the who I was with off, but a couple of people from one organization, a couple of people from another organization, and a couple of people from my organization. And we were discussing change orders, and we were discussing the high cost of some of the change orders. And kind of a lot of like back and forth. Why does it cost this much? This is just a temporary facility, blah, 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 and back and forth. They were getting a little defensive. They were getting a little perturbed at kind of like the tone from, I guess they felt like it was the accusatory tone from the architects and other group. And so they were, you could clearly hear the frustration. And surprisingly enough, I was the one who was trying to play peacemaker and try to calm everybody down and all this other stuff. And everybody kind of kept going back and forth on this. A couple of people, were just like really badgering at them, sinners, saying, what's up with this cost? Why is it so high? Why did you need level 5 finishes for a temporary condition? Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't things that weren't
Oh,
unreasonable
was that
for
in
the
the
discussion.
spec?
Yeah.
All right, go
And,
on.
so clearly it wasn't anything that was not an unreasonable line of communication, but that was clearly there was a bunch of tension. So one guy said, all right, look, clearly we want you guys to take a look at it a little bit more and make sure that you guys have everything checked out, double checked, make sure you're okay with everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, well, fine. And so you would assume, so everybody's like, all right, thanks, have a good weekend, hanging up. Well,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's where it's coming.
yeah, one person forgot that they hung up
Uh-huh.
and muttered at a pretty audible rate, God, I hate that effing guy.
Yes. This is what we need right now.
And you're
Oh,
like,
shaking my head.
dude,
Yeah.
um,
You're still on the call.
you're still like on a live mic, and the people who shouldn't be hearing that are on that live call as well. And you're like, ah, man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anybody from us or, it was just, he was
That's,
frustrated.
that's the only reason you can tell this story.
I could tell this story because it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh,
wow.
man.
He's like, wow, man, dude, you've got to like check yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, remember the day when you would hang up the phone on a wall and there was actually it wasn't possible for that phone call to still be going if the handset was hanging on the wall, and now it's like there's no buttons on the phone, right?
yeah. So funny thing about, I was talking to another guy that was on that call with me, and I was like, did you hear that?
Was I
And
the
he's
only
like,
one?
he's like, dude, did you hear what I just heard? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I texted another guy, and I'm like, were you still on that call? He goes, I was hanging up and I heard somebody say God, and then I kind of like hung up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't hear the rest of that.
Oh.
And it wasn't directed to him or anything. And I know who it was, and I know who it was directed to. And surprisingly enough, it wasn't me.
You're like, I expect that, but I wouldn't want this other person to hear it.
Yeah. And so he like told me a story about who apparently had a call with one of the guys, and as you said, hung up the phone, but not quite, because it was slightly off the hook. and for like the next hour went and berated the architects.
Yeah. Wow.
And you're like,
And you're like listening to the whole thing.
oh,
Dude.
he just kept the phone to his ear. He's like, mm-hmm. Oh, oh, is that what you think of me?
Playing along. So, okay, so there's definitely like places that you could work, or, companies, let's just say, that have a culture like that, right? Where
Mhm.
that is not a professional culture. That
No,
is a
no,
culture that is kind of backslid into that position where somebody let somebody else do it for long enough where it just became normal, quote unquote normal, and then that's how it, like, the company ultimately becomes like that. I think we've all seen that happen. And then there's kind of somewhere in the middle where it's like you'll have a senior project manager or a project architect on their phone walking around the office having a big argument with the contractor. And it doesn't mean that it's going to have that language, but those
right.
conversations do happen in the open. And I think, like, there's definitely some learning that goes on from especially the younger staff in the office of like how to stand up for yourself or how to fight for something on a project,
Sure,
or et
right.
cetera, et cetera. You could look at it positively and negatively, I think. And then there's the other one where it's just like, no, we will be professional at all costs, right? Which is kind of like, I don't know if there's a firm like this out there, but it kind of reminds me of like that Nordstrom story where somebody returned a set of tires to Nordstrom, right? And they're going to take it back because the customer is always right, which is like the other
Yeah.
end of that extreme, right?
Right, right.
It's interesting to kind of hear the different cultures that are out there and to think about a culture where that berating kind of happens and the back talk, and like we have teenagers, we kind of know what this is like, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and it's like, I heard you. You
yeah.
should not do that out loud ever. It is disrespectful. It is unprofessional, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's
Right,
like, I'm a parent. I'm trying to teach that to my kids. And then you hear somebody who's at a professional company doing that. It's not a good model. Yeah,
right,
it's rough.
right. Yeah, and even now more so, like with everybody working from home with little ears in the background.
Yeah,
I
with like serious like mental, not mental problems, but stress, and uh,
right, right.
you're just not in maybe a good place because you're dealing with kids in school and all of the other things on top of all the other things that are just, everything's piled together right now. Like you said, like it's all one big space that you're in. You don't even know the difference between the living room and the bedroom and the basement. And yeah,
Well, let's be
there's
honest. In
definitely
this
some
house,
some
there's
mental stress that comes along with that. So I guess this brings up a bigger topic of self-care. What are you doing anything for self-care?
uh, well, I did want to tell you one more story
Okay, before we
uh,
get to the
before we get to self care
okay.
because yeah, this one's all 100% I own this one. So let's just start there. Cormac owns this foot and mouth disease. So today I was invited to sit on a jury for a friend's university studio class. And so I did, and I kind of joined in. And I know him from St. Petersburg, down in Florida, and there was a couple of other like Florida folks down that were on the jury as well, and joined in. And this was before a lot of the students were coming in, and we were talking about things. And I'm encouraging him. I was like, "Man, you couldn't even pay me to go back to Florida." And he's like, "Oh man, no, Florida's great." I'm like, well, I grew up there, and I just don't know what it is. It's like I just don't feel like I really want to go back. And so he's like, "Well, how long has it been since you've been here?" I'm like, "It's been a few years. I've got family down there, and we go down there often, but it has been a while since I've been there." He goes, "Oh man, it has totally changed. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, it looks completely different. You wouldn't believe like all the building going on and everything else. Downtown St. Petersburg just looks great." And so then I kind of made this comment of, so like here I am. I'm talking to a couple of like local architects down in Florida, and I make this comment. I'm like, "Yeah, but like the new peer, God." He goes, I think
We
I said
we
I'll
talked about that
hold
project, right? Because it was nothing like the competition winning entry.
right.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
He worked on it?
The guy I was talking to, not the one that invited me to his studio lecture, but the guy that I was talking to was the designer of the project or the executive architect on the project. I'm like, oh crap. foot, mouth,
Foot,
insert.
mouth. Yeah. Did you draw a diagram for that?
Now, I mean, I did, and here's the thing, yes, I think that you know, I, I have feelings about the building, and I am not sure what I feel about it until I actually like see the building, to like really kind of understand what's going on with it. But there's a level of disappointment, the competition, winning one, and growing up there and growing up with this icon, and was the original Pier, anything award winning to write home about? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But what I always felt like is it needed this iconic statement. This is an opportunity to really like showcase St. Petersburg
Mhm.
with a piece of architecture that can really draw. I think like just the fact that you could have this iconic element floating out in the middle of the water that is kind of like this punctuation of the city and everything else was where I was really hoping. And do I feel like it achieved that? Yeah, probably not. But
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. I mean, how many buildings do we do that don't turn out the way that we want them because of all of the different forces that we're up against every time we do these things? And so, I mean, it was bad that I kind of like completely inserted my foot in my mouth
Uh-huh.
on this one. I don't think it necessarily changes my opinion about it.
Right.
But then again,
There's just things you don't want people to hear. Like they don't need to hear that.
I mean, maybe not to the guy,
Right.
kind of thing. It's just like,
Oh man.
so
just
boy,
do it
did
live on Twitter. You can get canceled in a few years. So
boy, did I feel stupid.
oh.
It was just, I mean, I feel I need to reach out to him and just, I mean, again, I don't know if I'm not changing my opinion or my view or anything. What I want to do is I want to reserve all like judgment until I actually like put my eyes on the space. And it's not just the building itself, it's the space and stuff. And I think, it's a vast improvement over what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But was I hoping for more? Sure.
Aren't we
But
always?
yeah, I was going to say, but wasn't everybody?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes for sure.
Oh,
so you do anything to disconnect from the madness and take care of yourself?
you mean immediately?
Well, whatever. I don't know. Big picture, little picture.
Well,
it's a picture.
I'll say that I will take a momentary lapse of a break on my project, which I have an interim. It's one of the bigger interim deadlines, kind of progress check-in.
Those are called fake deadlines, by the way. Yeah.
Yes, fake deadlines, which is going to basically expose that there are a lot of questions that still need to be answered,
Of
which
course.
everybody knows about. And that's the good thing about going into it, is that like everything that they're going to see, or in this particular case, not see, are things that are kind of out in the open that everybody knows are discussions that still need to happen, but just doesn't make it feel any better than when you're this far along and you just still have like a handful of really big questions that could like drive certain areas one way or the other. So unfortunately, I've got that going on till the 25th. So what, 12 days?
Yeah.
Of cranking along. But I do get a moment of respite this weekend where I get to wake up early, like 3 a.m., and start driving down to Southern Virginia, all the way to damn near North Carolina, to take my son to a college tour.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. How far is that really? Because you say like all the way to Virginia.
It is according to this, it is a 6-hour drive. So
okay.
While we're talking,
so 350, 400 miles, something like that.
352 miles. 352.
I was pretty dang close, wasn't I?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's
now
not
if
that
I
bad.
if I left right
Come on.
if I left right now, it's actually a lot quicker. But the one amazing thing about it is that I get to drive through basically the Shenandoah Mountains of western Western Virginia and kind of like, drive along some pretty damn beautiful scenery. Now, granted, it will be completely dark
Yeah.
and I won't see any of it.
Yeah. You're like, imagine, if you will, looking out
Exactly.
this window.
Ooh, I bet there's mountains out there.
Turn
I
on the
don't know
brights.
because everything's dark.
Turn on the bright lights.
Uh,
Yeah, you need some of those like LED spots that you can just mount to your roof rack and blow everybody else out of the water with your lighting. That'd be fun. Light up the scenery as you drive down the highway. Well, I'm trying to get out on my bike. I didn't go outside of the house at all today. Like I think that's kind of what a lot of people are dealing with. And now with the time change, it's even worse, right?
yeah.
Because by the time you're done working, which is now for me, it's not even 5:30 yet. It is completely dark outside, and I hate that. I hate that part of this part of the year. There's so many other things I love about this time of year. I think for the most part, like in Southern California, it's nice to actually see seasons happening, and it's nice to not wake up in complete darkness, but at the expense of leaving work traditionally, but now just walking out of my office and it's completely dark outside. It's pretty terrible. I feel like I'm missing out. So I'm trying to get out on the weekends, at least on my bike, and do a ride, or go mountain biking up in the hills and get into nature and experience some fresh air and not pavement and not the inside of this room. So
Yeah. Well, it's funny is that that's actually why I moved. I started off in the basement over a course of several months. That
mm-hmm.
was getting to be way too annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So then I set up a little desk in my bedroom, and where, that's fine for a while, but, it really kind of sucks when like the glow of the computer is just like humming at you while
The
you're
last thing you see at night and the first thing you see in the morning, and yeah,
exactly.
forget it. I did the same thing. Yeah.
So then I came out here, and this was the first day that I actually felt kind of nice to work in. Like it was sunny outside. It's been raining the past couple of days, and it was sunny outside. It felt nice to actually like see the outdoors through a window right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt a little bit. No, I did get outside today. I had to drive into DC today to pick up the. Did I tell you this story yet? I told you that, I had to like send my lens in to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent it to Fuji to
mm-hmm.
fix it because they felt like better to have them do it because it's supposed to be a weather sealed lens, and the bracket was what popped off. So they were like, oh, let's send it back there. So they sent it back there. Did I tell you that they came back and told me how much it was going to cost?
No. Time to buy a new lens instead?
It literally was the exact same amount to fix the lens as it was to buy a brand new one.
So it's just a lens replacement was what they were offering you. They just weren't telling you that.
And so what they were telling me is that, hey, I know you have this lens. We'd like for you to pay for that same lens.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to buy it twice for the same one. We aren't going to give you two lenses for the price of one. We are going to give you one lens for the price of two. And I'm like,
and you will say thank you.
I was like, can you have them send it back? And so it came back to yesterday, and I drove into town to pick it up today, and they were just like, yeah, they're kind of getting into, like all of these major manufacturers are now getting into this culture of like, they actually want you to replace it. He goes, back in the film days, you'd have your camera forever, and all you're really doing is just buying lenses and things like that. And you break these like highly computerized cameras, and they're gonna say, yeah, I know that you spent $2,000 on the body for this camera or more, but you dropped it, and for us to fix it, it's gonna cost $3,000. You're like, but we can sell you this one right here for $3,200.
Well, and it's like a year or two old, and there's newer, better stuff out now.
And that was the thing is like, so I had waited actually to buy the camera because they had announced this new the newer camera coming out. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. So now 2 years later, they just released the XT4, and I had the XT3, and so it was just like I tell them, I'm like, they're taking a page out of Apple's book And it's like this planned obsolescence. It's like, oh, your phone, it's only 2 years old. Well, I'm gonna crank this down a little bit or make it slow down so that you feel like you have to buy a new phone. So you go out and you buy a new phone, and there's really was nothing wrong with the first one.
Well,
But
they didn't make you.
I'm just saying that they didn't make me buy a new phone.
Yeah. Good luck with that. So what are you going to do?
Actually, so here I am, standing in the shop, and I'm looking down at their case, and they've got a couple of used Fuji lenses, and then they have the exact same one,
Mm-hmm.
were $300 less than what it was going to cost to fix it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't think I'm going to be jumping at buying a new lens yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been renting a lens from them, and it's really affordable. And it's a nice lens. It's a 23 millimeter, but it's like a 1.4. I'm loving, just messing
Yeah, of
around with
course.
that one.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep, if I know I'm going to go shooting, I'm going to go and rent a lens. It's extraordinarily affordable, and it's a great mom and pop shop that really know their stuff. And so I'm going to continue to support them until someday the lens fairy brings me a new one.
No, when you get that 2020 bonus.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
So before we jump off this episode, I just want to let everybody know that we are planning to do a live stream on YouTube, and we're going to do that on the 19th. But a little extra special secret sauce here. We're going to do it with Life of an Architect podcast crew, Bob Borson, Andrew Hawkins, and just the four of us going to get together and live stream this happy hour fun hangout time. We haven't done that in a very long time. We haven't seen those guys because all of the conferences that we normally go to got canceled this year. So we'll put a link to the location where you can kind of set a reminder for yourself to watch that or be, just know that it's happening. So it'll be on November 19th. We're not quite sure the time yet, but by the time this episode comes out, there will be a link in the show notes and you can click on that. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. But how do we do audio on YouTube?
Yeah, we're going to do like a Zoom call and we'll just live stream
wait.
it,
I have
so
to be
you got to
I
be
have to
presentable.
turn my camera on.
You might want to shave. I don't know. Wear all black, I would like to see you clean shaven. Jeez, come on.
Ain't gonna happen.
It'll be fun. Yeah, everybody can give each other crap. It's gonna be great. So join us. It would be fun if everybody could join us and hang out. And you can put questions in the chat. You can just hang out and be together.
Tell us your favorite cocktail.
Big architectural togetherness pie. It's gonna be fantastic.